This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. The Supreme Court has found former Police General and Special Action Force Chief Leocadio Santiago Jr. administratively liable for the anomalous purchase in 2009 of two brand new police helicopters that later turned out to be second-hand. In a 14-page resolution published on Thursday, the High Court granted the writ for certiorari filed by the Ombudsman Field Investigation Office against Santiago and reinstated a previous ruling that convicted him for serious dishonesty and conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service. In its resolution dated the 30th of May, 2012, the Ombudsman found the former SAF chief and several other police officers administratively liable for the irregular acquisition of the second-hand helicopters for the Philippine National Police, resulting in their dismissal from the service plus the forfeiture of retirement benefits. They were also barred from holding public office. The High Court's latest resolution effectively overturned a 2013 ruling from the Court of Appeals clearing Santiago of the said charges. In 2009, the PNP ordered three standard helicopters worth 105 million pesos from the Manila Aerospace Products and Trading that should be brand new, air-conditioned and with a minimum of 3 hours endurance. However, MAPTRA delivered only one brand new Robinson Raven 2 while the two standard Robinson Raven 1 were found to be pre-owned by former First Gentleman Jose Miguel Arroyo, according to the Ombudsman. In reversing the appellate court's decision, the High Tribunal said that Santiago was guilty of the said administrative liabilities when he executed resolutions attesting that MAPTRA was legally, technically, and financially capable of supplying the helicopters despite documents showing otherwise. That said misrepresentations resulted in serious damage and grave prejudice to the government is also undeniable, considering that the government was defrauded into procuring brand new, light police operational helicopters, with certain specifications that turned out to be second-hand units that were far from the PNP's specifications, the High Court said. Worse, the contract price amounted to over 100 million pesos, it added. According to the court, the findings were substantial grounds to elevate the guilt of Santiago to serious dishonesty, which is defined by Civil Service Commission Resolution No. 060538 as a dishonest act that causes serious damage and grave prejudice to the government. The court said it was also convinced the police official's actions tarnished the image and integrity of the public office he occupied, citing his flimsy defense that he merely relied on the representations of other committees and his superior. Santiago's argument that it would also be impossible to require him to examine every process of the procurement when he was busy with police operations reflected the unacceptable standard he applied to his public office, it added. To the court, there is no basis to hold public officers to such a low standard when no less than the Constitution commands that public officers must at all times be accountable to the people, serve them with utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiency, act with patriotism and justice and lead modest lives, it said. A lone gunman shot and killed a barangay chairman and wounded a barangay Kagordo councilor in Ormoc City, later on Friday night, the 16th of February. Police identified the fatality as Patricio Lord, 60, chairman of Barangay Catman, Ormoc, and the wounded as Christopher Casamong, 45, Kagordo of Barangay Catman. Initial investigation said that the victims were having a conversation in front of Casamong's house regarding a beating about the barangay cleanliness campaign and segregation of waste materials when an unidentified person arrived and greeted them. The suspect suddenly drew a gun and fired at the victims, killing Lord on the spot and wounding Casamong, who was taken to a local hospital. Suspect fled to unknown direction and police are conducting follow-up investigation and pursuit operations. A Bureau of Internal Revenue employee was arrested for allegedly extorting money from an establishment selling kids' bikes. The BIR, along with elements from the Philippine National Police, conducted a joint operation last Thursday, February 14 that led to the discovery of the employee's extortion. Based on the agency's reports, the employee was extorting money under the guise of an official BIR tax compliance verification drive. It was revealed that being in the taxpayer's place of business was not part of the employee's official functions. The employee is set to face criminal cases of robbery, extortion, grave coercion and usurpation of official function or authority, violations of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, and Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, which were filed before the Office of the City Prosecutor. I promise the integrity and professionalism of the institution and its employees, so we will not let such activities pass up. Such employees have no place in the new BIR. BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumaga Jr. stated, all BIR officials conducting enforcement activities must be armed with the proper authority, either a letter of authority or mission order. Taxpayers can always ask and verify the authority by which a BIR employee is visiting their office or business. Lumaga said, you can report any individual, whether a BIR employee or a stranger, if he or she cannot show any official document that warrants his or her presence in your business establishment. He reiterated, the BIR has yet to disclose the amount of money that was extorted from the bike establishment. A 42-year-old policeman and a 31-year-old drug pusher were apprehended in a buy-bust operation in Barangay Damanpat, this town, on Sunday afternoon, the 18th of February. Police said they were monitoring the drug pusher, alias Puto, when the police officer with the rank of police corporal assigned to the Santa Maria, Pangasinan police station, arrived. The police officer, who had been tied to illegal drug activities, purchased suspected shabu from Puto, prompting lawmen to accost him, but he fled on board a Toyota Tamaro FX bearing license plates UNZ665. Puto was nabbed and seized from him with shabu worth 3,400 pesos and a heat-sealed transparent plastic sachet. Lawmen chased and caught up with the police officer, who yielded the car, a cell phone, and a handgun. Inventory and markings of pieces of evidence were done on site in the presence of mandatory witnesses. A barangay chairman was gunned down in front of the cockpit arena here on Monday night, the 19th of February. Police Captain Rodel Ragasa, town chief of police, identified the victim as Lawrence Larianco, chairman of Barangay Poblacion, Santo Domingo, this province. Ragasa said the victim was driving his motorcycle on the way out of the cockpit arena at about 8 p.m. when he was shot by a lone gunman. 6 empty caliber .45 shells were recovered by responding police officers at the crime scene. Anko died on the way to the hospital from multiple bullet wounds. The suspect fled and police are pursuing the suspect. A city government employee and his companion were arrested by the police in a buy-bust operation in Bonifacio Extension, Barangay 4, Salai City, Negros Occidental on Tuesday, the 20th of February. Police identified the city government employee as Romeo Dicto, 61. His companion was a 26-year-old man. The suspects were arrested after they sold suspected shabu worth 2,800 pesos to a police poser buyer. Suspects allegedly yielded 12 grams of suspected shabu valued at 81,600 pesos. Police Lieutenant Colonel Mark Anthony De Roca, Salai Police Chief, said that Dicto had been working in the city as street sweeper. He is considered a high-value individual because of his government-related work, De Roca said. De Roca said that Dicto's companion was tagged as a street-level individual. A Barangay Cagordor councillor was shot dead in Sitio Banahaw, Barangay Tugas, Tabango, Leyte, on Tuesday, the 20th of February. The victim was identified as Ronald Palacio, 50, of Barangay Santa Rosa, Tabango. Initial investigation disclosed that the victim was driving his motorcycle on his way home from Tabango proper when he was shot in the uninhabited area by unidentified persons using an unknown caliber of firearm. Police found the victim lying on the road beside his motorcycle. He was bathing in his blood and had multiple bullet wounds in the back. Gunmen fled and police are pursuing them and conducting follow-up investigation. A worker of the city treasurer's office in Naga City, Cebu Province was detained at the City of Naga Police Station female custodial facility for alleged loss of around 12 million pesos from the city coffers. She was detained at about 6 p.m. on the 19th of February, 2024. The 44-year-old liquidating officer allegedly started her illegal activities toward the end of 2022. She was entrusted to collect taxes and deposit the money in the bank. However, in a report made by the Commission on Audit, the liquidating officer failed to present documents on a so-called money trail, or the series of connected financial transactions and exchanges. Police Lieutenant Colonel William Homack, Naga Police Station Chief, said that the liquidating officer's lifestyle changed indubitably, including frequent out-of-the-country travels. Homack confirmed to GMA Regional TV Balitang Bisdak that the woman admitted taking a sum from the total collection 5 days a week. The news team sought comment from the suspect in her detention cell, but she refused an interview. Workers at the city treasurer's office also refused to be interviewed when the team tried also to reach for comment. Merv Aldemar Chiong said that the incident saddened him as the loot, upon initial investigation, is quite a sum already. He said he will wait for further reports from COA on the exact amount lost from the city coffers while the city legal office is studying the appropriate charges to be filed against the suspect. The city legal office, office of the mayor, and the city treasurer's office are expected to file charges against the liquidating officer. He vowed that the incident will not affect city government services to constituents. The Philippine Coast Guard on Wednesday, the 21st of February, said it will cooperate with the Philippine National Police after one of its personnel allegedly went amok and engaged in a shooting spree in Naic, Cavite. Admiral Ronnie Gilgavin, PCG Commandant, directed the Coast Guard Internal Affairs Service to work with the PNP in probing the arrested personnel who is serving under the Coast Guard substation Rosario with a rank of Seaman Second Class. According to the PCG, the suspect went to Barangay La Toria in Naic, Cavite around 2:40 am last the 18th of February where he met his live-in partner. Suddenly, the suspect, who was still wearing the Coast Guard's battle dress uniform, began shouting due to a heated altercation with his live-in partner. This attracted public attention and at the height of the confrontation, the suspect pointed his PCG-issued firearm to the ground and fired indiscriminately. Witnesses called for assistance from the PNP Naic personnel which led to the arrest of the suspect. The police also recovered 18 spent shells of caliber 5.56 cartridge. The suspect yielded his PCG-issued firearm for alleged violation of Republic Act No. 119/26 or an act penalizing willful and indiscriminate discharge of firearms. Gavin reminded the PCG personnel to exercise maximum tolerance and comply strictly with gun safety regulations. Committing such crime while wearing the PCG uniform affected his unit's reputation and the public image of the entire Coast Guard organization. He furthered, the PCG commandant said that the suspect shall face the consequences of his actions, which include being dishonorably discharged from the Coast Guard service, if proven that he is guilty of indiscriminately firing his gun. The PCG has zero tolerance for public servants who violate the very rules and regulations they must uphold, Gavin said. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.